Sim Simmer, who got the keys to my bimmer? Who am I? The girl them sugar and a lie. And today's newscast is powered by Luxury Glam Slay. So if you want your makeup, your hair, brows, or lashes on point, whether you're stepping out bold, bridal ready, or straight up boss babe vibes, Little One, the owner of Luxury Glam Slay, got you covered. Trust me, this is where the glam magic happens. Hit up the number on your screen to book your glow up or catch all the info on Instagram on your screen. Welcome to KGN Caribbean News. I'm Carisha Graham. Here's what making headlines in this week's Caribbean Crime Watch. A senior officer with the Royal Grenada Police Force is facing serious charges after a deadly shooting in Victoria, St. Mark. Inspector Kellon Newell has been charged with non-capital murder following the death of 46-year-old Wellington Welsh, who was reportedly shot during a disturbance on April 27th. Two other people were also injured during the incident, leading to additional charges. Welsh passed away at the hospital 2 days later. Inspector Noel was brought before the court earlier this month and has since been granted bail, set at 100,000 Eastern Caribbean dollars. That's just over 37,000 US dollars. As part of his bail conditions, he cannot leave the country, contact witnesses, or carry any weapons. Haiti is urgently calling on regional partners for support as gang violence escalates across the country. Officials report that heavily armed gangs now control around 85% of the capital, Port-au-Prince, spreading their influence into rural areas. With limited police and military resources, the government is struggling to contain the crisis. Authorities warn that the trafficking of weapons and drugs, particularly from abroad, is fueling the gang's growing power. The government is appealing for increased regional cooperation to help restore security before the situation worsens. It took over a decade, but justice has finally been delivered in the case of Mario Dean, the Jamaican man who died after brutally beaten while in police custody back in 2014. Last week, a jury found 3 officers guilty for their role in his death. Elaine Stewart and District Constable Marlon Grant and Julian Cleveland were all convicted of manslaughter and misconduct in public office. Stewart was also found guilty of trying to cover up the incident. A violent incident in St. Thomas left a woman dead and her ex-boyfriend facing serious charges. 35-year-old Dana Joseph Jr. is accused of shooting his former partner, 33-year-old Latifah Raymer, in the back of the head. After the attack, he reportedly took her to the hospital but left without explanation and vanished. Raymer was rushed to the hospital but sadly did not survive her injuries. Police arrested Joseph and charged him with first-degree murder among other offenses. In Antigua and Barbuda, a case has drawn widespread concern. Dequan Yearwood has been sentenced to 2 years in prison for unlawful sexual intercourse with a 14-year-old girl who has a learning disability. The incident occurred in January 2022 involving a vulnerable minor found in Yearwood's apartment. Despite the law allowing for a sentence up to 10 years, the judge handed down a much lighter sentence, sparking outrage among disability advocates and legal experts. Many feel the punishment does not reflect the seriousness of the crime or the vulnerability of the victim. Calls are now growing for stronger protections and harsher penalties in cases involving persons with disabilities. In a major drug bust at Deepwater Harbor in Antigua, authorities uncover a gray sofa hiding 30 vacuum-sealed packages of cannabis, weighing about 30 pounds. The estimated street value of the seized drugs is around $180,000. The sofa and its contents were taken to police headquarters as the investigation continues. This seizure comes just days after another haul at the VC Bird International Airport, where over 20 pounds of cannabis were found. So far, no arrests have been made in either case, but police urge anyone with information to come forward as efforts to stop illegal drug trafficking remain strong. In St. Lucia, police and customs officials have successfully disrupted a major drug and firearm trafficking operation. On April 30th, officers discovered concealed packages of cannabis infused products, firearm parts, and related materials hidden inside a vehicle shipped from England at Port Castries. Following an intense investigation, 47-year-old British national Glenn Stephens was arrested on May 15th and charged with 6 counts, including drug importation, possession, and intent to supply. Stephens appeared in court the same day and was granted bail set at 22,000 Eastern Caribbean dollars. Authorities say this arrest marks a significant victory in their efforts to stop illegal trafficking through St. Lucia's ports. Investigations continue as police work with international partners to uncover any further connections. Police are investigating a shooting that took place last Wednesday night on Tuckett Street in Ponce Pastor, St. Kitts. Two men were rushed to Joseph and France General Hospital with gunshot wounds. Sadly, one of the victims died while receiving treatment. This is the first gun-related homicide in St. Kitts and Nevis this year, and the second homicide overall. Authorities are actively looking for the suspect and ask anyone with information to come forward. More details will be shared as the investigation continues. Alright guys, when I see the video here, what came to mind? Because I know when you first saw this video, you probably thought you were watching some school challenge quiz or a TikTok game, right? But nope, that's the Jamaican Constable Force keeping things fresh and spicing it up for Wanted Wednesdays. They put out a challenge with 3 wanted folks asking who will we catch first. It's almost like a game, but for real. It's all about getting the community involved in reporting their locations. Honestly, with vibes like this, you'd think the JCF page is run by Gen Zers. Is it though? Because I think it is. Either way, it's a smart way to get you all paying attention and helping keep the streets safer. Last Sunday, New York City came alive with vibrant celebrations for Haiti Flag Day, honoring Haitian culture, heritage, and community spirit. The streets were filled with music, colorful performances, and joyful gatherings as families and friends united to recognize the rich history and contributions of Haitians in the city. Now let's check the political heartbeat of the Caribbean in this week's Politics Pulse. Chad Blackman secured a decisive win in the St. James North by-election in Barbados. Representing the Barbados Labour Party, Blackman captured about 84% of the vote, firmly maintaining his party's long-standing hold on the constituency. The by-election followed the resignation of the previous MP, and Blackman was officially sworn in shortly after his victory, with the nation's president and prime minister attending the ceremony. A former diplomat and current minister of educational transformation, Blackman is expected to focus on projects and supporting the elderly, boosting technology innovation, and strengthening local agriculture. The win solidifies the Barbados Labour Party's continued presence in this key district. Tensions have escalated between Guyana and Venezuela over the contested Essequibo region. Guyana's President Ifran Ali strongly condemned Venezuela's decision to hold regional elections there, calling it an outright violation. The dispute centers around this resource-rich territory, and Guyana's military has even warned local border communities against participating in Venezuela's election, threatening legal consequences. Antigua and Barbuda recently held a by-election in the St. Peter constituency after the assassination of sitting MP, the ruling Labour Party's candidate Rawdon Turner, won decisively, securing over 74% of the vote and reinforcing the government majority. At the opening of Trinidad and Tobago's 13th Republican Parliament, President Christine Kangaloo called on lawyers to act quickly on regulating artificial intelligence. She highlighted AI's potential benefits but warned that without proper laws, it could worsen inequality, cost jobs, and concentrate economic power. The president pointed to past delays in addressing social media harms as a lesson not to repeat with AI. While welcoming the creation of a new ministry focused on public administration and AI, she stressed the urgent need for legal safeguards to protect citizens and ensure technology is used responsibly. Prime Minister Andrew Holness recently donated air condition units and paid supplies to the Olympic Gardens Health Center in West Central St. Andrew. This donation is a part of the Labor Day 2025 community effort, aiming to improve the comfort and environment for both healthcare workers and patients. It reflects a moment to supporting those on the front lines of care and enhancing local health facilities. Health across the Caribbean. Health remains a priority as islands face unique challenges and celebrate progress this month. Barbados is shining a spotlight on mental health, encouraging open conversations and support for those managing wellness challenges. Jamaica is celebrating a major milestone in public health, successfully eliminating mother to child transmission of HIV and other diseases. Grenada is boosting healthcare through a new partnership with Nigeria, focusing on improving medical training and services. This segment of KGN Caribbean News is sponsored by Bellam Natural Skincare, a real Jamaican brand born from the founder's own skin struggles. If you're tired of dark spots, dry patches, or uneven skin tone, these handmade soaps could be your new best friend. They've got some killer combos like kojic acid with vitamin C, turmeric and sea moss, honey, and oats, all natural, all effective. Plus, they ship all across Jamaica, and here's the catch, they also ship internationally. So no matter where you are, you can get in on the glow. Order through the Instagram on your screen or WhatsApp the phone number, which is on your screen as well. Your skin, I go thank you. Take care of your skin, people. Here's what's happening in the Caribbean economy with this week's Island Market Watch. Jamaica's economy is showing steady progress this year, with growth expected to be just over 2%. Inflation is keeping pace at about 5%, meaning prices are rising moderately but not out of control. This steady growth signals that the island's businesses and consumers are balancing well in the current environment. Barbados is bouncing back nicely with an anticipated 3% growth in its economy this year. Inflation is quite low, around 2%, which helps keep living costs manageable for residents and supports stronger consumer spending. Trinidad and Tobago economy is expected to grow by about 2.4% this year. Inflation remains low again, near 1.3%, allowing for stable prices on everyday goods and services, which is good news for households and businesses alike. Grenada is seeing a health economic expansion of nearly 4% this year, one of the stronger growth rates in the region. Inflation is stable at just over 1%, helping keep costs steady as the economy picks up. Growth in the Bahamas is projected at just under 2% for 2025. Inflation hovers around 2%, supporting steady consumer confidence even amid some global economic uncertainty. Guyana continues to lead the region with a remarkable growth forecast of more than 10% this year, fueled largely by its booming oil and gas sector. Inflation is moderate around 3.6%, which reflects a balance between rapid growth and cost stability. Cuba faces a more challenging economic picture with a modest 1% growth predicted for 2025. However, inflation remains very high, near 70%, which means the cost of living is rising sharply, putting pressure on consumers. And now for our entertainment section. Big news out of Jamaica today as sprinting legend Usain Bolt takes on a new role as the country's global tourism ambassador. Famous around the world for his speed and charm, Bolt will now be the face promoting Jamaica's rich culture, beautiful beaches, and warm hospitality to travelers everywhere. Fun moment took over social media this week when DJ Khaled tried to peel a mango. But first, before we continue, who have peeled a mango with a knife before? Because if me want a snack and me a go work and me a pop my lunch, me sometimes cut up the mango, to be honest. Me eat whatever left back on spot, but me sometimes cut up the mango. Me no feel like enough to judge DJ Kelly. Don't judge him, cause me sometimes cut my mango too. But let's just say his method wasn't quite what fans expected. That's when Jamaican star Shensia jumped in to show him the authentic way to eat a mango, using her teeth to get every juicy bite without wasting any. Taking the friendly advice, DJ Khaled went back and gave Shensia's technique a try, turning a simple fruit into a viral cultural movement filled with laughs and good vibes, because honestly, I did laugh. It was a night of rhythm, energy, and pure Caribbean pride as Beanie Man hit the stage in New York for the first time in over a decade. The Grammy-winning artist performed at USB Arena on Saturday night, drawing thousands of fans from across the tri-state area. From the moment he stepped on stage, the crowd was on their feet, dancing, waving flags, and singing along to every lyric. Beanie Man brought a high-energy set that reminded fans why he's considered one of the most iconic voices in dancehall history. Simma, who got the keys to my bimmer? Who am I? The girl them sugar and a lie. I say God don't. Oh. His last New York City performance was back in 2020. It was back in 2014, making this return a moment longtime supporters didn't want to miss. Beanie Man continues his North American tour, but for New York fans, Saturday night was more than a concert. It was a celebration of music, culture, and homegrown legacy. That's it for this week's edition of KGN Caribbean News. I'm Karisha Graham. See you next week right here where vibes meet truth and every island will eventually get the spotlight.